5.4 unemployment rate is the province, even above the national unemployment rate that stands at 24.9%. That's a huge unemployment rate by any standard and is of a serious concern to us as government. We are going to be working in partnerships with the private sector in the main. We have been talking to everyone in all the sectors, in the mining, construction, manufacturing, ICT, that here is the problem facing us. How do we resolve it? And I'm very, very delighted by the kind of response we are receiving as government when we engage with the industry voices saying, we have been waiting for government, we want to engage with you. This is the kind of work we are doing as the private sector, but we are prepared to go an extra mile with you, creating job creators, building up on the work that government is doing around SMME, skills development. So we think with that kind of partnership where people push beyond their own space and create more than what they would originally would have wanted to do and say, the picture here is Gauteng province. The picture here is jobs. The picture is growth and jobs.
When you say 25.4%, in numbers, I mean, how many people is that? 1 million, 2 million? How many people is that?
Well, it's a lot of numbers. It's more than 4 million people unemployed.
In Gauteng?
In Gauteng.
Only?
It's in Gauteng. Remember, Gauteng province employs about 30% of the total employment in the province.
In the country?
In the country.
Yeah.
And we are the biggest contributor in terms of GDP.
Okay.
And out of that number, about more than 60% of unemployed people, it's young people.
Yeah, yeah.
More than 60% of the unemployed, it's young people.
So working and partnering with the private sector, how? What are the incentives? What is the private sector saying to you?
The private sector says to us, we're glad that government is coming to us.
Yeah.
We have been waiting for this opportunity.
Yeah, but
we are going to be creating the Gauteng Investment Center as one of the incentives where we're going to be bringing in everybody, the DTI, the municipalities, Gauteng Department of Economic Development, and all other government institutions that come under one-stop shop center where if, for instance, someone comes and says, we want to invest in this kind of an industry, we want to put up this factory, we must be able, through that Gauteng Investment Center, to say, this is the land zoned for this kind of investment, and you can find it in that municipality without any barriers, glitches, but also limiting the time that it takes for businesses to find their licenses in the province.
Will this be working hand in hand with JEDA and Blue IQ and all of those initiatives?
We have since established a new entity called Gauteng Growth and Development Agency. In fact, the Gauteng Investment Center is going to be run by that agency. That is the amalgamation of JEDA and Blue IQ. So on the other side, in the SMME space, we have Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. That works very, very closely with the private sector, with institutions of higher learning, because beyond just creating jobs, but we also want to create job creators, people who are going to be ready to absorb in more unemployed people into employment space. That's a serious challenge facing this province and this country. And we think if we increase trade and investment, allow our people opportunities to export, but allow foreign direct investment to flow into the country, we must do certain things. And one of those things is what the Gauteng Investment Center will be doing.
Okay, so somebody listening to our conversation and thinking, okay, so what are going to be the key job creators? What are going to be the key job creation drivers in Gauteng? What are those? How would you answer that question? Well,
ICT is going to be one of our focus. Manufacturing is going to be one of our focus. But with the discussion we have with the whole industry players, we think there is a lot still that can still come out of the mining industry. The kind of commitment there where CEOs are saying, we want you to set up a forum where we are going to be coming as CEOs to discuss, have a conversation with you as government about our ideas. Don't stifle our ideas, open them up so that we all flourish. And I'm saying...
But if they say to you, for instance, we've got problems with skilling. We don't have adequate skills, and sometimes people question the commitment of South Africans, and in particular black South Africans. And sometimes people say, people buy online. That's the second point that's often raised. What about also the strike strikes giving a sense, and some CEOs might say to you, we're worried about investing here because what about the strikes and those kinds of things? How do you address that myriad of issues?
Skills development, I agree, is key.
Yeah.
And that is going to be one of the focus.
Yeah.
And if we talk partnerships, it's not just going to be partnerships with business.
Yeah.
It's partnerships with labor, it's partnerships with civil society, but it's commitment, because I agree with that view and the concern that says other people are simply lazy, and we can't break this challenge if we continue having people who are simply lethargic. We want people who are going to wake up in the morning and be prepared. We want people with a purpose. And I think the kind of purpose, the commitment I'm getting from the private sector, we are going to turn the tide around. And when it comes to the strikes and all these things, I think there are two forms of strikes that are currently taking place. Is the spread of illegal strikes throughout, especially in the mining industry. But I think there is investment strike as well by the private sector. And that is where we need to bring everyone together and say, the picture must be big. The picture must be bigger than just your own space.
Okay.
Go beyond that. Let's open up. Let's create employment in this province. But let's talk about it. And I am sure if we're all committed on talking about it, addressing it, will really
make progress.
Exactly.
Somebody wanting to reach you with ideas about job creation, is there a place where they can make contact, an email address?
There is, through our website, www.ecodev.gpg.gov.za.
Okay. ecodevgpg.gov.za. That's where you can reach MEC Nkosiphendule Kolisile. Thank you very much for your time this morning. You're watching Morning Live here on SABC2. You may have some thoughts about job creation or our conversation. Tweet at Mbuli Vuyo, or you're welcome to text 33726. She's been quite prolific, Bongi Swamayeki. So unemployment won't change if the economy is still in the hands of the few in this country. That's one of the issues. Tony Stout writes in and says government should stop wasting money on luxuries and create jobs with that money. South Africa has so much money, and that is a fact. So if you'd like to tweet at Mbuli Vuyo, that's where you can reach us. Morning Live takes a break. We'll continue in a moment.